Alright, YouTube, we are back this time with a long form video. Hopefully you guys watch it and hopefully you guys enjoy. We'll be taking a peek at my new shotgun. This is a Norinco 1897. It's a, far as I could tell, 1-to-1 clone of the Winchester 1897 pump action shotgun. We'll take a peek at the history, and if you're lucky I might even throw in a video at the end of me shooting it. So this shotgun's magazine capacity is 6 rounds in the tube, 1 in the chamber, for a total of 7. That's pretty good for a pump action shotgun. Then its rate of fire is about 120 rounds per minute. That's assuming you're not reloading. That's assuming you've just got a 120 round mag tube, which I don't think any of these have that. And the sights, you got fixed front bead, normal shotgun deal there. Then you got your little rear, I don't even know what to call that, your little cutout. That probably won't give you any idea of the sight picture there. That might give you an idea, but I doubt it. Anyways, this gun was designed by John Moses Browning, as were many other guns. Everyone knows about that guy. The license you need for this particular gun is just your PAL, your Possession and Acquisition License. If you're in America, you're lucky. You don't need any license whatsoever. And, you know, there's other countries. I think in some countries this might classify as an antique, since it, again, was released in 1897 originally. This is the riot gun variation, not the trench gun variation. As you can see, there's no heat shield or bayonet lug up front. But, again, this is a reproduction. I picked it up because I wanted a neat little pump action. So my personal experience with this gun, I've ran about 100 shells through it. Haven't really had any. There was one time where I don't think it was striking the primer hard enough, but I think that was more of a primer issue, not so much a gun issue. Every other shell went just fine. It's seems pretty sturdy. I haven't shot it too much yet, so I can't say much more than that. The history of this gun: back in World War I, it was used for close quarter combat, trench clearing, all that stuff. It was a very, very destructive firearm. That sounds odd for me to say that, but it was very good at what they used it for, which again was close quarter combat and clearing trenches. So you can imagine how nasty that would get at times, especially with something like this. It's the Germans tried to have this gun banned. Can't remember, I think it was the Hague Conventions or Hague Conventions, something like that. They argued that it was just inhumane. It was cruel, you know, it was too devastating, the damage it did, which is honestly funny considering what the Germans got up to back in the day with all that gas, and God forbid we start talking about World War II. You know, those Germans, they're always up to something. Yeah, they argued it was a bird gun, and it got a reputation. Like I said, it was good at what they used it for. After that, they used it in World War II to some effect, from what I've heard. There's not really many pictures from World War II or I of guys with this. There was the Germans, they said if they caught any prisoners of war, any like Americans in the war, you know, they caught them alive, they would kill them if they had one of these. So again, those Germans are always up to no good, aren't they? Not nowadays, but you know what I mean, back in the day. No offense to anybody from Germany or anyone with German heritage. I don't mean anything by it, just bad history there, you know. Let's see, where are we? I got flash notes right here, so cut me some slack. The slide lock feature still sticks around in modern shotguns, so I'll show you what that means real quick. You got the hammer cocked back. Can't get it to go back, it's locked, it's in battery. It's not gonna pump unless you let that hammer down. Then you can get it to pump. There's also a slide release. You hit that button right there, it'll release the slide. It's also got a magazine release. Sounds weird to have on a pump action shotgun. In my experience, most of the time they don't, but check this out. It'll shoot your shells out. You know, I've only got 2. These are training bullets, don't worry, they're fake. They're safe for me to be doing this with. So, another thing the Germans protested back in the day was the rate of fire on this gun. I'll give you all a real quick idea. Like I said, I've only got 2 dummy rounds, but this should give you an idea of how quick you can shoot it. That would have been 2 shots right there. So pretty quick, especially for a manually operated firearm. A pump action, I honestly feel like I could shoot this quicker than a semi-auto shotgun, but I would have to put that to a test. I don't have a semi-auto to test, but maybe one day you guys will get lucky and see that video. All right, where are we? So the dangers of this shotgun. We'll start to get into that. As I was talking about that slam fire feature, if you're not too familiar with guns, it can catch you off guard and it can be bad, because normally on a shotgun, imagine this is loaded, right? Boom. You can't keep the trigger held down. You need to let off the trigger, pump, then you can shoot again, right? On this one, you just hold the trigger down. As quick as you can slam it back and forth, it'll shoot. So that's one thing to keep in mind with this shotgun. Don't let it catch you off guard. That's all I'm saying. It's got no conventional safety, no switch or button like a modern day shotgun. This has a half stop safety. That's what that's called right there. That can lead into another one of the dangers. The original Winchester 1897 has a free floating firing pin. This one does not. This is the Norinco model, but the original Winchester model has a free floating firing pin, and it got the nickname Widowmaker because hunters would take this shotgun into the bush with them. They'd hop a fence or something, you know, half cock safety, right? You can't shoot that. Well, that went down because I hit the pump a little bit, but look, you can't shoot that. You see, it's not going to go, right? But with that free floating firing pin, normally they're calculated. They're light enough that it won't set off the primer. I guess this one wasn't. So what would happen, you'd be hopping a fence, drop your gun or put your gun down too hard, and then boom, take you out right then and there. Sounds like a grim way to go if you ask me. So keep that in mind if you're hunting with this gun. What I do when I'm walking around the bush with it is, let me grab my training rounds real quick. When I'm walking around in the bush with it, I'll either have full mag tube, none in the chamber, or I'll keep the pump back, one in the chamber, full mag tube like that, but not in action, not in battery, not in action. Let's see, anything else I gotta get into? Right. Post-war history. So this gun was replaced in 1957, not replaced, but production ended, 1957. This is a modern reproduction. There is modern reproductions, but the original Winchester production ended in 1957 due to safety concerns and just the fact that there was better shotguns on the market by then. So it was replaced by cheaper and more efficient shotguns and more effective, you know, so all those good things, you know, all those things you want in a shotgun. There was over 1 million of these in circulation by the time production ended. We'll go into the variants real quick. I don't know too much about this gun. This is my first time ever, not my first time, but this is my first 1897 style shotgun, so I'm new to this whole cowboy action shooting stuff. That said, historical firearms do hold some significance to me. I like older gun designs. It's interesting to see how they did it in the past. Where was I? I keep getting lost. Sorry, I am dyslexic. I'm really dyslexic, so keep getting lost on this little flash note I got up here. Like I was saying, 1 million in circulation. Right. The variants. So, like I said, this is the riot gun version. There is also the trench gun version, and I think there was a takedown version too. There would have been like a button or something here so you could split it apart from the barrel and the receiver. That would have made it pretty nice. Granted, I just got the fixed frame, you know, so nothing too crazy on my end, just simple shotgun. But there was many versions of this shotgun, and like I said, it was used to great effect in the First World War. It was used in the Second World War, but not as much as the first. They weren't really in as many situations where this was a useful gun. Don't get me wrong, there's always situations where this is a useful gun, but they weren't doing that kind of fighting by World War II. The Americans used it, I believe, in some pre-war conflicts also, like pre-World War I. I'm not American, so I'm not too up on all the wars and stuff they've been involved in, but I believe there was some stuff going on down in like Asia and Micronesia where this gun was used to great effect. Like I said, 1897, this thing has been around for over 100 years now. They come in 16 gauge, 12 gauge, and I think that's it, but there might also be a 20 gauge. The reproductions that are on the market right now, you can get a Norinco. Like I said, this is one of the Norincos. One thing to keep in mind with the Norincos is, I haven't tested this stock, but apparently the lacquer on this stock has lead in it, so you don't want to be like gnawing on your stock or anything. Granted, that kind of goes without saying, it's a gun. There's another one made by Bull Creek Arms, I believe is the name of them. Chiappa also made one for a short while. I don't think it's in production anymore. And then Standard Manufacturing Company currently makes one. I believe they also make the heat shield to turn it into a trench gun. So yeah, it's been a little review on this one. Little review and talking about the history. Hoping that these videos keep getting better and better. I'm still new, still learning on this YouTube stuff, so cut me some slack if the editing's not that smooth or anything like that. Anyways, I guess we'll cut to some video footage of me shooting this now. See y'all.
Yeah.